Hello, everybody. Let's wait and get everybody in here. We've got some breaking news on former Sheriff Mickey Stines and his indictment. And so let me get everything going here. Kind of jumped on here real fast because I just saw the breaking news myself and I'm shocked. I want to know what everybody else thinks. First of all, welcome to the show. It's Hillbilly Crime. My name is Elizabeth and I am your host today. Hello, Pinto. Hello, Laughing Lori. We have a lot to talk about. Oh, Sheriff Mickey Stines. Hello, Lovebug, our very best lady in the business, our mod. Everybody, please, if you do, say thank you to show some love to Lovebug because she's the best. All right, guys, let me pull up what we're going to be looking at. We've got two here. I'm going to read. Look here. Look here. Holy crap. I'm shocked. I'm just shocked. Okay. Former Sheriff Mickey Stines indicted by Letcher County grand jury. I heard whispers about this a couple of days ago. So, just to let y'all know. Okay. WYMT says Thursday afternoon, Attorney General Russell Coleman and Commonwealth's Attorney for the 27th Judicial Circuit, Jackie Steele, announced the indictment of former Letcher County Sheriff Sean Mickey Stines, 43, of Red Rum, of a public official. A Letcher County grand jury indicted Stines on one count of Red Rum, public official. According to the indictment, Stines pew-pewed an unalived Letcher County District Court Judge Kevin Mullins on September 19th inside the judge's chambers. According to the Mountain Eagle, the indictment was handed up to Senior Judge Julia H. Adams, who served as circuit judge in Clark and Madison counties before her retirement. She will preside over the arraignment for Stines. According to the paper, Adams left open the possibility for Stines to be released from jail on bond, but warned the bond would be significant. No other details or a motive was noted in the indictment. Stines' arraignment is set for Monday, November 25th at noon. So that was from the Bulldog, WXKQ. Let's go read the Mountain Eagles because it gives us a little bit better. We're going to go to, let's see, we're going to go right here. This is the Mountain Eagle Facebook page. All right. Letcher grand jury indicts former sheriff in the unaliving of district judge. A Letcher County grand jury has indicted former Sheriff Mickey Stines on the charge of Red Rum of a public official. Okay, whatever. The indictment, announced at about 2:50 this afternoon, comes 2 months and 2 days after Stines walked into Mullins's chambers behind the Letcher District courtroom and unalived the judge, pew-pewed the judge 8 times. The entire thing was captured on a security camera. The indictment was handed up to Senior Judge Julia H. Adams, who served as its circuit judge in Clark and Madison counties before her retirement. The indictment gives nearly no details about the crime, and the motive is still unknown. Judge Adams was appointed solely for the purpose of receiving the indictment and presiding over the arraignment of Stines, which is set for Monday at noon. So I'm assuming that this is going to happen at the Letcher County Courthouse, because it doesn't say that this is going to be, because as of right now, this is still a Letcher County case. Let's see. Judge Adams also left room for Stines, 43, of McRoberts, to be released from jail on bond, but warned the bond will be significant. I am disinclined to set no bond in any case, the judge said. The case against Stines was presented to the grand jury by Commonwealth's attorney for the 27th Judicial Circuit, Jackie Steele, who was appointed special prosecutor by Kentucky Attorney General Russell Coleman. Assisting Steele was Deputy Executive Director of the Attorney General's Special Prosecutions Unit, Ramsey Dallum. And there he is. So that is the deal. Let's look. Let's see what everybody... Tell us where you all are from. It's awful cold here. It got cold and snowy in one day. We got Pinto, Laughing Lori. Hello, everybody. Baby Doll, Ironton. Hello. LS, it's good to see you, honey. Love Bug, our favorite mod. LS. Keto Kim. Hi, everybody. Hello, Keto Kim. Pinto. Okay, so let's see. What does everybody think? Welcome to our chat, everybody. We've got a pretty good little chat going some days, so let's see. What does everybody say? Lovebug says, welcome to our chat. Thank you all. Glad y'all Kim folks are here. We also have memberships, so if anybody wants to become a member of our Hillbilly family, you absolutely can. Yes, let's see what. Buddha Belly. What? He is going to get bond over red rum. Wow. Yep. Buddha Belly's from New Mexico. Hello, honey. Glad you could join us. Baby Doll Ironton from Ohio. Hello. Pinto says, live in Illinois, but from Hazard, Kentucky. Awesome. That's like about 20 miles from where we're at. Yes, if you've not been here before, please subscribe to the channel. Hit that like button because it really helps us to grow this little channel. We're new, so we got to kind of do what we got to do. All right, L. Plumley from Texas. Hello, honey. So what's everybody think? Are you as shocked as I am that they are going to give him a bond? Man, oh man, I just don't even know what to think about this. I really don't even know what to think about this. I was looking on Facebook earlier. That's how I found out the Mountain Eagle came on Facebook. And if you notice, the Mountain Eagle gave a lot more details than the other ones did about this case. And so I kind of wanted to look and see what people are saying. Let's see. There have been several people who have shared the post, the Mountain Eagles post. Miss Ashley Adams says, are you kidding me? She shared it. Bond, this is a cold-blooded monster. He better never be anywhere around her children. How in God's name would someone think it's safe for this monster to walk the streets? Goes to show you how messed up Letcher County is. Like, do people usually get bond in a case like this? Does anybody know? Let's see. I wonder if we can look it up. We're live, y'all. We're just going through. We want to have a discussion and see what everybody thinks. Christy Cunningham, New York City. Wow. Welcome. Pinto says very shocked. Keto Kim, yep, that was unexpected. Baby Doll Ironton, unbelievable. I'm just in shock. I had to jump on here. I'm like totally unprepared. But I just thought this just goes to show you how Letcher County is. I mean, I just don't even know. So this judge who is seeing this is a retired judge. So they've pulled her out of retirement. It's a woman, which was very shocking to me. Let me point that out first, because I don't know of any women judges that have been to Letcher County. I'm sure there has to have been. I've just never seen it with my own eyes. Because this is good old boy country down here, y'all. Stines will probably make a motion for competency evaluation. This is from LS. Let's see. Stines will probably make a motion for a competency evaluation, but the judge shouldn't be able to grant that motion as she is not the trial judge. Good point, LS. It said let's go back over to this other one where you could see it a little bit. Oh, well, that one didn't really give it the details. Let's see. Adams was appointed solely for the purpose of receiving the indictment and presiding over the arraignment of Stines, which is set for Monday at noon. Okay. So let me ask you guys another question. Would Jimmy Kraft get this case? Or no, I think he already recused himself, didn't he? Does anybody else know? Did Jimmy Kraft recuse himself? I don't know. Let's see. Oh, back to the LS. I'm sorry. My mind's just a little bit all over the place. I'm in shock. I wasn't expecting this. Stines will probably make a motion for a competency evaluation, grant that motion as she is not the trial judge, unless that has changed in the law recently. So if L. Plumley says, so if he takes a plea, we may never know what the motive was. And, the daughter, I don't think it had anything to do with his daughter. I think that was a total red herring. I think that she has already debunked that. She has said that Judge never had any inappropriate interactions with her. Mickey's wife, Caroline, has said that, it doesn't have anything to do with her. So I feel pretty certain that we can just throw all that stuff away. Even the fact that he tried to call his daughter on Judge's phone. I think it's a total red herring. But, there are certain things about the whole situation. Like, I just have questions. Like, where was all the Letcher County Sheriff's Department was very braggy about things, about what they confiscated. So, and, rugs are a really, really, really big problem here. And so anytime they pulled somebody over or they made some big bust, they would lay it out on the table and take a picture of it and put it up on Facebook. And just as they probably didn't do that all the time, I'm sure, but that was a lot of stuff. And I just don't see how a man could go from being, absolutely law abiding, never do anything in his life, criminal, be the cop's cop, and jump from, squeaky clean to this, to committing a crime as this. That's a really big leap for me. Because if you guys remember watching that video, that did not look to me like a man who was panicked. He didn't look to me like he was having some kind of an emotional breakdown. He looked to me like he did not look out of control. He looked very much in control. He looked angry. He looked like he was intent on following through with what he did. Because he started to walk out that door, and he must have heard the judge or something caught his attention before he walked out that door. And he turned back around and bent down and delivered the last two things. And that's just what it looked like to me. I don't know how it looked like to anybody else, but he just didn't look like he was out of control to me, so I don't know. LS, no, a no bond is appropriate but that's not what it said. It didn't say it was a capital red rum charge. It said it was red rum of a public official. I don't know if words matter here. I'm sure they do. You can get a bond on capital cases. Christy Cunningham. Let's see. Love Bug, woman judge. Yep. Let's see. Yes, everybody, please, if you would take a minute and hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button, because we're going to follow the arraignment on Monday, and we're going to follow the trial. We are absolutely going to follow all of that. Tomorrow is the sentencing for the Patrick Little case, too. So I am going to take a trip to the courthouse tomorrow morning and be there for the sentencing. At least that's my plan. We had some snow tonight, so I don't know how that's going to turn out, but that's my plan, is to go to the courthouse in the morning. Let's see. Christy Cunningham, because the presumption is innocence. It may be counterintuitive, but fair. Okay. Let's see. Christy also says, I used to live in Tennessee, and a lawyer that knows Hazard County a bit. All right. Let's see. LS. The rumor is that he has ALS and was on meds. I don't know. I've not heard anything that was like that. Now, I've also heard, Miss Christie, that there have been all kinds of rumors. Okay, let's go ahead and say that first. As soon as and they have just contradicted each other, and they've been wild and they've been crazy. First, we heard that the judge was messing with his daughter, and then very quickly after that, it was that Mickey was abusive, and the judge was trying to get his daughter and his wife away from him. And, not all of that has been, his family, Mickey's family has all said none of that's true. So, we can only go by, and Mickey's not talking. And before this indictment came down, his lawyers didn't have any way to get any kind of discovery. Like, they're not allowed to ask for any kind of discovery until he's indicted. It had to go in front of the grand jury, and all they needed was that video. I'm sure they didn't. I'm sure they didn't give anything else to the grand jury. All they needed was that video. That video alone was enough. And now they'll have a whole bunch of hearings and stuff that go on before the trial. Now, the way that Letcher County has always worked with these big cases, in my opinion, is that they delay until there's been so much time that's gone by that people forget, which, this case nobody's forgetting about. But, time tends to kind of heal some things, and it allows things to be swept under the rug, in my opinion. Let's see. More or less, those 180-degree personality changes can sometimes be a symptom of blackmail, extortion, bribery, etc. Did someone have dirt on the sheriff? That's a really good comment. I think that this is also a factor. The federal civil cases that were filed against his deputy, he was included in those cases, in those civil suits. And I believe, this is just my opinion, but I believe that that Mickey was counting on the judge to be able to keep it in his courtroom, because the lawyer for those women that filed this case said that he was really shocked that Judge Mullins was clinging to this case so badly when it was his chambers that this happened in. It was his bailiff that this was. So he really needed to recuse himself. And finally, they had to make him pretty much recuse himself. And so I think that, just my opinion, I think that Mickey counted on Judge Mullins to get him out of this. And they were seeing that Judge Mullins wasn't going to be able to. He just was not going to be able to contain this. And it was completely taken out of his hands. And that's just what I believe, but I think that had something to do with it. I could be completely wrong, but I think that's a big factor here. And let's see what anybody else says. And just to say something else, we had a police officer, Brian Dameron, who was, I think he took a plea bargain, but he was convicted. He was accused and investigated and caught and convicted of stealing things out of the property room at the sheriff's department. This was back under Danny Webb, when he was the sheriff before Mickey. But there's been a history and a pattern of the sheriff's department not being able to budget their funding, their money, our fiscal court. I've played videos in other lives of our fiscal court saying that they have given it was like over $2 million back years ago, over 10 years ago. They were giving so much money to our sheriff's department because they couldn't balance their own stuff, or they weren't doing a very good job of it. So allegedly, let me put allegedly in there for everything. And this is all just my opinion. I'm no lawyer, but Let's see what anybody else says. All right, Love Bug gave us $1 on our super chat. Thank you, honey. Thank you. And the way that we're going to start doing these is the largest super chat will be the sponsor of our stream every time. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And we'll put you down on the ticker. Thank you, Love Bug. All right. Let's see what anybody else says. Buddha a belly. ALS, that would almost be more heartbreaking. Would that mean the judge was a good guy and this guy just got out of his mind, literally? You know, that's a really good point too, Buddha belly. Thank you. You know, there's not been anything. There's not been the first piece of evidence come out against Judge Mullins. I mean, there's not been anything that I've seen. Now, there's been a whole lot of rumors, but there's not been the first piece of evidence that's come out. You know, not anything. And that would be really, really bad. You know, if this man was completely innocent of everything, you know, and he was just pulled through the mud the way that he has been. That's really pretty awful to think of. Because I think so many people are searching for a reason for why Mickey did this. You know, everybody thought, well, maybe not everybody, okay, but there were a lot of people who really liked the guy. And I didn't like him or dislike him. Neither nor. But a whole lot of people did like him. A whole lot of people put him up on a pedestal and just, you know, sing his praises. And so I think that they're searching so hard for a reason that this happened. You know, that Mickey would never have done this unless Judge had done something so devastatingly awful that Mickey felt he had no choice. You know, and I just don't see how that video even shows anything like that. What that video showed me was a defenseless man. You know, that was just awful to watch. I was traumatized over that for weeks after. Tim Walker. So how does red rum of official differ in charge than just red rum of civilian? That's a good question too, Mr. Walker. That's a really good question. I'll have to look up some answers to this stuff and we'll figure it out together. Buddha belly. I thought it was a far higher offense. Let's see. Keto Kim. In my opinion, he went on with intent, but did appear panicky. Okay. Toward the end, like things weren't going as he wanted. You know? And we're all going to kind of see different things too in that. I think I can see that. I can see that things weren't going as he expected. But I just felt like he was making sure that he didn't leave that room with him still breathing. Like, just so, how many times did he hit him? You know what I'm saying? Brad R. Hey, Hillbilly. How's your mom doing? Well, Sweet Tater is doing just fine. Thank you very much. She's picking her banjo and going to singing practice, and she's enjoying retirement. She's doing great. Thank you so much for asking. Irish for Life, watching from the border, formerly from Owsley County. Good content. Thanks, honey. Are they going to try the case in Madison County? I wonder. No, they are trying it here so far. So far, it's still in Letcher County. I don't think that they could even put in for a change of venue until the indictment. He had to be indicted by the grand jury before anything could happen. And one thing I learned, I didn't know this either, but the grand jury in the county that the crime was committed has to be the one to hear the case. So that's a little piece of knowledge I wasn't familiar with either. And Miss Ann, I don't know what to think about this case. I don't either. So sad. Brad R. Lovebug, I was one of the first subscribers and never missed a thumbs up. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. God bless you, sweetheart. All right. Karen Quillen Hall, please keep in mind this woman keeps saying in her opinion and everything she is just that. She knows no more than anybody else. That's exactly right. None of us know anything, Miss Karen. No, you know as much as I do, sweetheart. All right. Irish for Life. Does he have the finances to get a bond? Who knows? He said that he made $115,000 a year. Or at least that's what he said he was going to make this year. He said that in court. But it wouldn't surprise me one bit if people bonded together and raised money to pay his bond. You know, it's going to be significant. I don't know what significant means. I'd say we're going to find out on Monday, though. So we won't have to wait very long. Let's see. Tim Walker, from what I hear, the sheriff is a stand-up kind of guy. It just don't make sense. It sure don't. It don't make a bit of sense. But, you know, anything that's done in the dark will come to the light eventually, you know. Let's see. Brad R. Tim, I think it comes down to trust. The judge's high level of trust got him unalived. Well, but you know, who would have ever dreamed that? Nobody in a million years would have ever dreamed that the sheriff of our county, who was his longtime friend, I mean, he worked as his bailiff. Mickey Stines was Judge Mullins's bailiff for over 10 years before, in the courtroom, in the district courtroom, before he became sheriff of Letcher County. And then once he ran for sheriff and won, and just went right across the street on the back, right behind the courthouse, right across the street from a little bitty back street, then one of his employees then took Mickey's job in the courtroom as the bailiff, which was the guy who got in trouble for all the house arrest stuff. So that's how all that's tied together. Stephanie Turton. Hello, honey. How much is the bond? We don't know yet. They've not set the bond. The judge has just said that she is very disinclined to give anybody no bond. So she's going to give him a bond. It's just going to be really high. But I don't know what really high means. So I guess we'll find out on Monday, though. Let's see. Irish for life. Lots of corruption in these small towns in Kentucky. Amazing. He's going to be free to roam. Well, they'll probably put him on house arrest. That would be something if they put him on house arrest in Letcher County. I'm just saying. Oh my gosh. I don't know, y'all. I don't know. Sounds pretty insane. Let's see. Miss Trisha. Still don't understand why he called his daughter from the judge's phone, waiting on the evidence to come out. That's right. We don't know anything as of right now. Not yet. We don't. So we'll just have to wait and see on Monday. See how it goes. And we'll know. Let's see. I will definitely go to the courthouse on Monday and see. No, he's already indicted, Lovebug. He got indicted by the grand jury. That's what just came out today, was his indictment. Let's see. Tim Walker. Well, isn't a judge required or kind of hear the facts to determine if he is a danger to public or flight risk? Yeah. Yep. Usually well, I'm no lawyer, so let me say that again. But the way that I've seen it happen in the past, with people who've been given like a really, really high bond at time of indictment, like they'll do the arraignment probably, and she'll set a bond, and she might say she set a $500,000 bond or a $1 million bond, and he couldn't pay that. He could go back in like a month and request a bond reduction hearing. And that's how I've seen it work before. And then, they just make them serve a month or two in jail and then lower their bond to something that is reasonable, or something that they could at least potentially get to pay for it. So it's a case by case basis. We don't know. We won't know really until Monday when they have the arraignment and see what the judge says. But the way that the Mountain Eagle reported it was that she left room in there for him to have bond. But it will be significant that her statement was, let me go back and read it again, just so we have it right. Adams was appointed. Okay. I am disinclined to set no bond in any case, the judge said. Now that's a quote from the judge. So that means she's probably going to give him bond. So we'll see. I don't know. Let's see here. Irish for life. I lived in Madison County in 2015 to 2019. She's a good judge. Well, good. Thank you for telling us that. That is a good little piece of information. Pinto. I think his bond will be denied. Just too risky. Well, I guess we'll find out. I just didn't think he would even be eligible for a bond for what he did. But like I said, I'm no lawyer, so I don't know those kinds of laws. Keto Kim, very much agree when he turned around to finish things up. Wow. Yeah. Let's see. Jackie Benz, honey, from Nebraska. Well, welcome. Welcome to our channel. If you're not subscribed, make sure you hit that subscribe button. We're trying to make this a normal or a regular show, okay? Y'all are welcome anytime. A diamond in the sticks. Let's see. I've heard everyone's going to be in shock when they find out the real reason he done it. Yeah, well, I think all of it's shocking, you know? Every bit of it is shocking. Brad R. Why didn't Stines take the time to open that phone number to see how many times it was called? Because I think it's a red herring. I don't think it has anything to do with what they were fighting about. I really don't. Let's see. Kimberly Johnson. Usually they don't set a bond for red rum. And you know, something else too. There we go. That's what I was going to say. Love Bug in Hillbilly Country. They do come, Kimberly. Different states have different rules and they have different, guidelines and stuff that they go by. It's just amazing to me how different some of them are. The different states are. Buddha Belly, why wouldn't you trust the sheriff you work with? Exactly. Yep. Let's see. A diamond in the sticks. I'm from here too. Corruption on both sides. Been here for hundreds of years. Don't have very much experiences with either one, but I can believe the tales of both of them. Yep. And just because we don't have any evidence of something doesn't mean it didn't happen. But in a court of law, you kind of have to have evidence. So that's pretty important. Let's see. Chris Cahill. Hi, honey. Welcome to the channel. I miss my old stomping grounds there in Whitesburg. Left in 1990. Yeah, a whole lot of people left in the 90s. If you look at old videos and old pictures of this area back in the 80s and the 70s, 50s and 60s even, it was standing room only around here. There were cars everywhere. There were stores in every one of these buildings. You didn't have any vacant, storefronts or anything like that. The videos that I've seen of old ball games in the 80s, back when all the schools were still apart, you had Neon and Jenkins and Whitesburg and Letcher, and you just had all these different schools, and the schools had the big rivalries, at the football games and stuff. It blows me away to watch them old videos of those ball games because you couldn't even, there was nowhere to stand for miles. You couldn't, it was just jam packed everywhere. And now we can't even get enough players to have a football team. It's just really sad. People left here and the coal mines shut down. And, when the coal mines shut down, it was just one thing right after another that just devastated this area. Let's see. All right, Buddha Belly. So how did the locals navigate the corruption in these small towns? Is it anything that really reaches the average person, or is it blackmail? Or if you get in trouble, you pay them individually? I don't think it's really that. Yes, it reaches the average person because, and it doesn't all have to be financial. Let me say one thing real fast. Competency. People have to be competent in the jobs that they do. And you might have some people who are very competent in what they do, and then you have other people who are just not competent. And so that really matters. And a whole lot of the positions, the elected positions around here, you either have um, the good old boys crowd running for those positions, so they just keep that power, or you have people who are absolutely uneducated and have no experience in what office that they're running for. You just have people who don't know what they're doing, and then they get elected because it's more of a popularity contest than it is who would actually be the best fit to do this job. And then you have people who run these departments, and so who do they hire? Well, they hire their family members or their in-laws or their cousins, or they hire people that they know, their friends who need jobs. And so you end up, and then if somebody else threatens, and that's a good paycheck. A lot of these elected positions around here, even our magistrates, make more money than the average person living here would ever dream. I think a whole lot of people are very they just don't know how much these elected positions make in their salaries. It's a really, really good living for the cost of living in this area. And so if you didn't have that job, if you weren't elected into that position, well, what job's going to pay you as much as that job, right? So anybody who threatens your livelihood is going to be your enemy. So, it's just kind of a little look into that kind of stuff. All right. Let's see. Brad R. FBI is setting up an office there. Well, they sure need to. Yeah, set your notification bell so you won't miss our show. Let's see. I think this is a good one, a diamond in the sticks. We keep our mouths shut for the most part in fear of everything, but they already think I'm crazy, and well, I am. That's what my mommy said. She said, well, they just think I'm that crazy old lady up on the hill that's got all the little doggies and cats. My dog Rex. Hello, honey. Welcome. Who could possibly get bonded out having a video of them making sure a man blank of several blank. Yep. He's presumed innocent though, because he's not, even with that video. Buddha Belly asked, because I'm in a small town and I would not know if it were corrupt or not. Well, yeah. Let's see. Joe Mullins. Hello, honey. You can address bond every 10 days in Kentucky. Usually that translates to every 2 weeks on bond hearings. Good to know. Thank you for that. Let's see. More or less. Let's see what he said, or what they say. FBI set up shop in Whitesburg. If yes, they must have found something big. Well, and remember, FBI is here investigating ARC and the Medicaid fraud. FBI is, from what has been reported, they're not here in Letcher County investigating Judge Mullins and Mickey Stines. That, at least that's not been announced. What they've been here investigating is ARC. They were also here, and they're the ones who charged Perry County Commonwealth Attorney for all that crazy stuff that he did, which was absolutely insanity because all they charged him with was, let me look it back up because I don't want to say the wrong thing. But that was just insane what they gave him. And they didn't even, he got what, 15 years in prison or something like that. Let's see, Perry County Commonwealth Attorney. Let's see, conviction. Let's see, yep, here it is. Scott Blair, 52, of Hazard, Kentucky, was sentenced to 54 months in prison on Thursday. Let me pull it up and I'll read it for you. This was released by the United States Attorney's Office, Eastern District of Kentucky. Former Perry County Commonwealth's attorney sentenced for federal honest services wire fraud. And you won't believe what he did. The former Commonwealth's attorney for the 33rd Judicial Circuit of Kentucky, Scott Blair, 52, of Hazard, Kentucky, was sentenced to 54 months in prison on Thursday, and said the judge, according to his guilty plea agreement between April 2020 and March 2024, Blair knowingly and intentionally devised a scheme to fraudulently deprive the citizens of Perry County of their right to his honest services as the elected Commonwealth's attorney through bribery. On multiple occasions, Blair agreed to take official actions in his position as the Commonwealth's attorney, including making recommendations on probation, drug court, and probation violations or sanctions for defendants he was prosecuting in exchange for math, the rug, and sexual favors. Under federal law, Blair must serve 85% of his prison sentence. Upon his release from prison, he will be under the supervision of the U.S. Probation Office for 3 years. And then it just tells about all the people who prosecuted him. Now, one of the victims in that case gave an interview, and it was a boy, and he said that that the guy called him and that he went up there to meet him, and he was like, he was allegedly, which he was convicted of it, so I don't think I have to say allegedly, but I'm going to say it just so I cover my own butt. He allegedly was wanting sexual favors from this boy, or was wanting to give them to the boy. And the boy said, what was I supposed to do? He had my life in his hands. He could have sent him back to prison, or he could have, did what the deputy under Mickey did when he found out there were text messages that could prove he was allegedly doing that with that girl. He went and filed escape charges on her, so she would go to jail. After he had been doing all that to her, once it was starting to come out, he tried to cover his own butt and went and filed escape charges on this girl after he had put her through all that he had put her through. Like, it just blows my mind. And these are our law enforcement, the heads of our law enforcement. And Hazard is where that was their Commonwealth attorney. That is the post, the state police post, that is investigating Judge Mullins and Mickey Stines' case, which just blows my mind. Blows my mind that they would leave it up to the same people that worked with them both every day. Blows me away. Let's see. LS, Whitesburg, any small town is no more or less corrupt than your own town or city. That's right. It's everywhere. It's everywhere and anywhere that money is involved. Yep. 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 Let's see. The one who knows. Hi, honey. Welcome. Frog Level, Florida in the house tonight. Well, welcome. All right. If you're not subscribed, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Sorry, y'all. And hit the like button. That helps us grow. It's free. It doesn't take 5 seconds just to scroll up and hit that like button for us. I'm eternally grateful, y'all. This is my full-time job now. So I'm going to be on a whole lot. And we've got this case to follow. So that's wonderful. Brad R. Absolutely. My aunt is a federal judge and they're coming to this town. There you go. Let's see. We've got a whole lot, you know. I don't know if anybody has seen, you know, the Fulton County Jail down in Georgia. They came out with it a few days ago, a scathing report of the DOJ. And one feller died of bed bugs and lice bites. He had been there 3 months and lost 30 pounds, and he passed away from bed bugs and lice bites, which is just unreal. Well, and the conditions of that jail are just deplorable. It's really, really bad. Well, our Letcher County jail is really, really bad. Like, I don't think anybody realizes just how bad the Letcher County jail is. It's unbelievable how bad it is. Let's see. Jackie Benz. Wow, time to clean it up. Well, you know, we sure hope so. We sure hope so. Tim Walker. Yeah, I know. I went to Napier. We armored up when we played, you guys. My kids play ball, so I'm a big ball mom. And this year they didn't even get to their first game, and they didn't have enough kids to play. So they shut the team down here in Jenkins, and it just broke my heart. Oh my God, it killed me. Let's see. Oh. Let me see. Jackie, I think somebody said Walmart has unalived small towns. The owners are out on their yachts and our small towns. Yeah. Let's see what a diamond in the sticks. I used to work back in 2007 for one of the swinging lawyers who was fishing me out if I'd be interested back then for one of their swinging schmecks parties. Well, there's all kinds of rumors about those around here. It's really bad. If people really knew the truth. But, you know, you have to really be careful what you say. You just have to be careful what you say. If you make the wrong person mad, you know, I'm going to repeat what our school resource officer said down at the city hall meeting a couple weeks ago. She said that because she used to work at the sheriff's department. She was a sheriff's deputy under Danny Webb. And when Mickey one sheriff, he didn't keep her. And so I don't know what had happened between them, but he didn't keep her on at the sheriff's department. And there was some kind of animosity between them. And when she went to try and get a job at another police department, they said they needed to check, if I remember what she said correctly, that they needed to talk to Mickey first because they were afraid that if she ever got in trouble and needed backup, as a police, that since he didn't like her, he wouldn't come help her. He wouldn't send help for her. So I think that's why they wouldn't hire her at that police department. If I heard her correctly when she said that at the city council meeting. And, that's the way that it is here. So if you made one person mad, well, all their buddies that can and will blacklist you from certain circles. And it doesn't matter how educated you are. Doesn't matter how much experience you have. If you make one of the good old boys upset with you, and all it takes to make them upset with you is to expect them to do their job or challenge them. Many times my experience has been, and this is what gets me in trouble all the time. They try to tell me something that I know better, right? Like they're used to telling people that may not have the same kind of education level that I have in the criminal justice system. They may be used to telling them whatever just to get them to shut up and go away. Well, whenever they tell me something that I know better, well, I don't shut up and go away because I usually call them on it. And that makes them so mad. It really makes them mad if you challenge them or if you in any way suggest that they're not doing their job. How dare you? And some things, are just can get very escalated. They can get out of control very quickly. For example, this situation in my neighborhood where my friend's dog was pew-pewed. That situation has been brewing for like the last year, and it just keeps escalating and escalating because people aren't doing what they're supposed to be doing to put a stop to it. Okay, let's see. Tim Walker, oh, you'd be surprised at the attorney and upstander who are closet. No, I don't think we would be surprised. Well, yeah, we would. People would be surprised. Let's see. A diamond in the sticks. Letcher County has a Schmeck's house on Pine Mountain, cameras and all. Sign a paper, drop your keys, pick a room. They all probably been to it. Well, I know there's a whole lot of ochre pay houses. Some more pig Latin for y'all. Oh my gosh. Elections, I think, in our country is nuts. Top jobs in America are being filled by reality freaks. Jackie Benz. There sure are, honey. It just blows my mind. Let's see. Tim Collins. There was a question about magistrate having the power of a police, and should they have that power? I don't think they should. Well, anybody that you give the power to arrest somebody, they can abuse it. And I have personally had way more bad experiences with law enforcement than I have good. Now, that's not to say that I don't think that we need them. Yes, we need them desperately. But I tend to feel like, they're not paid very well, right? So what is the draw to be in law enforcement? What's the draw? It's not the pay, because they don't make very much. Well, what is it then? I mean, you got to remember, people in law enforcement, that's their job. It's not who they are as a person. But sometimes, or in my opinion, a lot of times that gets confused. People take that on as a persona. That's who they are, is as a policeman, instead of that being their employment status. That's their job. I realize, like, people like sheriffs like Mickey, I heard him on several different interviews say that he was on duty 24/7. He didn't have to be in his uniform. He could be in street clothes. He was on duty 24/7. So, but like law enforcement, a normal police, and like a city cop, that's their job. It's not their identity, or at least it shouldn't be. But that's just something. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to get off on that little tangent. Okay, let's go on. Ramona Ratliff. Hi, Miss Ramona. Thank you for joining us. I think corruption has been in Letcher County forever, and this Mickey Kevin deal has got it brewing. A lot more will surface. Well, something else too, back when the coroner, Marty Baker, got in all that trouble, if you guys remember, when I went back and was doing a video on that, I was reading all the comments that were on Facebook and stuff regarding that, and everybody said the exact same thing. All this corruption's gonna come out now. Oh, well, it's all gonna come out now. Oh, I can't wait for it to come out. Nothing came out. Not a thing. That went by. Time went by. People forgot about it, and you never heard about it again. And nothing happened. Let's see. A diamond in the sticks. I've never been to the Schmeck's house, but heard about it and believe it. My uncle went back in his younger days. Yeah, somebody was telling me about it not too long ago, actually. Pinto, Scott Blair. Yep, that's who we was talking about. Rhonda Lewis. Hello, Miss Rhonda. Hello from the Panhandle of Florida. Well, we are freezing up here, so enjoy some warmer weather from me. Or from all right, let's see. Pinto says, hi, Rhonda. Thank you guys for joining our chat. Let's see. Brad R says, sorry, Hillbilly, gotta go. I might be back. Gotta check out the Kohlberger case. All right, sweetheart. Thank you. Anytime. Come on back. All right. Let's see. Georgia Culture. Hello, honey. Welcome to our channel. Welcome to our chat. She says, Northwest California here. This topic, LOL. In other words, he will not be able to afford bail. Well, I hope. LS, super sticker. Thank you, LS. Bless your heart. So you're going to take the spot in our stream sponsor. LS for your super sticker. I really appreciate you all. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And there we go. Now, they are our stream sponsor. All right. Miss Georgia Culture, I will be here for your coverage. Winky face. Thank you, sweetheart. Thank you. Let's see. My dog Rex. If bail has been canceled, maybe the students could. Oh, if ball has been canceled. Sorry, sweetheart. Maybe the students could read some Lysander Spooner and Patrick Henry and eliminate the corruption that has become. That's a good suggestion. Absolutely. My one son ended up going into the robotics and the Lego club when they shut down football, and the other one started basketball. So we had to just move on. Let's see. Barbara Melchert. I hope I didn't mess up your name, sweetheart. Thank you for being here. Live in Arizona, or live in Arizona, but from Corbin. There we go. It's Whitley County. I'm pretty sure. It may be too expensive for him to bond. I don't know if it's a good idea for him to bond out. I know. I kind of feel the same way on the end of that. I don't think he will be able to afford the bond himself. I think they'll set it high enough to where he probably couldn't. But what is the reason for bond? We've got to remember. Why do they give bond? They give bond to ensure that you come back to court. So, and like, I'm no lawyer, but they have to, from what I understand, or the way that I understand it, and please tell me if you guys think of it differently or if you know differently. It is supposed to be at least something that is reasonable. Reasonable might not be the right word. But flight risk and a danger to the community. Somebody else said that earlier. Now, I don't know if those are the only two things that they look at, flight risk. We know that he has extensive ties to the community. So I know that they kind of look at those kinds of things. He has a tremendous amount of support in the community. And I think that if he couldn't pay it himself, I think that there's enough people in the surrounding area that would gather together and raise money and put money together for his bond that he may just make it. I don't know. That's just my opinion. We'll have to wait and see because we won't know until it all comes out, or until, until he either bonds out or he don't. That's the only way we're going to know. Tweets Place. Hello, honey. Listening from Breathitt County. Well, welcome, welcome, welcome. Let's see. Rants. Or Ron's. Let me know if I say it wrong. Hi, Liz. Hi, sweetheart. LS, you all did well at the council meeting. Very interesting. Well, thank you. I don't know how much it helped, but they did end up referring it to the Letcher County Sheriff's Office, to the new sheriff. But the situation now is that the sheriff's, they called Ashley, my friend, yesterday or the day before, and they told her that they couldn't do anything, that their investigation was being held up because they still can't get the body cam footage of what happened out here in front of the house. So, and I think they told her that they wouldn't have it until December. That he had went on vacation, that police officer had went on vacation until December. So That's a little example there for you. Because that body cam footage is going to show, and it's going to hear what all they were saying to each other. And I'm sure that was not expected that body cam footage would be requested. So that's going to be very interesting when that comes out. Let's see here. Barbara says, what, isn't this case going to Superior Court? It's an unalive case. Well, the way that Kentucky does it, they don't have like, it doesn't go to a Superior Court. You have District Court, which here's all the misdemeanor cases, and you have Circuit Court. So once it went through the district, once that district judge that we saw the court hearing of, he was the special district court judge that heard that preliminary hearing, I think is what it was called. And then he's the one that decided, yes, there's enough evidence just by watching the video. That was all he needed. And he sent it to the grand jury. So then they have like a 60-day window there that the grand jury has a time limit, the 60-day time limit for the grand jury to hear the case. And once they heard that case, they indicted him. And pretty much, like I said, all they needed was that video. They didn't need any other information at all. That's pretty basically all they needed was that video to indict him. There was enough evidence on that video to say to send him to trial. And so now it's in circuit court, which it will go in front of a circuit judge. And but we don't know who the judge will be, because it looks like they're just from the way that it's went so far, it looks like they're appointing the judge for the next step in the process, right? So they appointed the one judge for the preliminary hearing. Then it went to the grand jury. Now they've appointed this judge just for the arraignment and to receive the indictment. And then it's the way it sounds to me like they're going to end up appointing another judge for the next step in the process. So we'll just have to wait and see how that ends up going. So I mean, different states have completely different processes of their justice system, or they call it different things. Georgia culture. He's a serious danger to the public, so his bail and bond will be out of reach. Still shocks me when I think of Stone Smith working around that desk. Oh, I think she meant walking around that desk to get his horrific crime complete. I know. I was just in shock. Absolutely in shock. Allegedly, Lisa. Does anybody know why Mickey did this? No. He's not said anything. I've not heard not the first even rumor. Like, I've not heard the first whisper of him saying anything. LS, there you go, honey. For Barbara, the circuit court is the equivalent to a superior court. Kentucky is a commonwealth. Love bug. A lot of corruption here in Moorhead also. Yep. I'm going to stop sharing that. Okay, let's see. Bonds are set so high in this case that it is what will happen, unreachable high. Let's see. Howlin' Wolf. Many of the sheriffs get too much power through corruption, and people won't bring it out because they have something to lose. Yep. And also people, they end up, I have something on this person, and this person has something on me, and this one over here has something on them. Like, if those rumors of all them swinging parties and stuff are true, there's a whole lot of people who probably get implicated and stuff like that. Let's see. My dog Rex. When you make your living wearing a disguise, mayor, judge, prosecutor, governor, president, you become the disguise. Yep. Kentucky Wonder Woman. Hello, welcome. Sorry, late to the party. An Adair County native who strayed to Florida. Well, I'm sure you're a lot warmer than us up here in Kentucky. We're freezing. Oosh. Let's see. A diamond in the sticks. The ex-coroner was the one who was schmecking with one of the... Yeah. Oh. Well, I'm telling you, there's a whole lot of it, and it's all connected. Kentucky Wonder Woman. Unsure how I feel about the potential for bond. Shake my head. Well, the truth of the matter, like, if we wanted to be really real about it, like, if there was a reason, like, if, say, let's just talk hypothetical here, but if, say, there was a reason that he wanted to commit this act, that his goal was the end result of, okay, hypothetical, one person wants this result. Well, wouldn't it make more, you don't want to, I'm sure not recommending anything or suggesting anything, but wouldn't you think somebody would have tried to get away with it? Like, if he was really going to do something, why didn't he do it and try to get away with it? Like, he didn't even try to get away with it. He knew that camera was there. He knew that camera was there. And so, it just don't make no sense. It just don't make no sense. Let's see. Beth Allen, hi, honey. I know here where I'm from, most all of our Barney Fifes were bullied in school. So it's a power trip for these guys. That's big true. That's big true. Brad R. It's 25 degrees here in Minnesota and strong wind. Oh, you're back, Hillbilly. Hi, honey. Well, you got it colder than we do here, so you're even freezing more than we are. Stay warm. Please stay warm. Buckwheat. Hi, sweetie. Love Bug 53 and Elizabeth. Yes, sir. All right. Let's see. Howlin' Wolf, love the channel, by the way. We watch all the time. Well, thank you. First live, though. Yeah, I haven't been really great about getting a real consistent time yet, but I'm working on it. I'm looking for me a co-host, so we'll have a little bit of spice, if I'm not enough. Oh. Spike Fast Racing. Hello, sweetheart. Welcome to the channel. I love the Hillbilly Crime Channel. Best coverage of this case. Thank you, sweetheart. You just keep coming back. We are so glad that you are here. Let's see. A diamond in the stick says Beth Allen completely agree with you. Sadly, ex-army, etc., ex-bullied, etc., gets power trips off it. Or once they go in, if their hands are clean, once they come out, they'll be filthy. Well, I've heard that um, for a very, very long time, that um, if you're not dirty when you go in, you are when you come out. And so, people just have to be careful, um, because there's just bad stuff everywhere. And you never know who's related to who. You know, you just don't know. Um, if you make the wrong person upset, and you might not have even thought nothing about it. And then the next thing you know, you're finding out that the person that you got an interview with next week is their first cousin or their in law. I'll give you a little story of my own. So I dated this boy back years ago. Let's call him Bob. And we lived together in a little trailer on his mommy's property. And his, I guess it would be his aunt. She was really his sister, but she was raised as his aunt. She was married to a state police officer. And back years and years and years before, back way before I ever started dating Bob, him and his wife used to live in that little trailer. So they knew all about that little trailer. And as soon as Bob would go to work in the morning, that KSP, in his uniform and all, would take his knife and pop the lock on our door. And he would come in and wake me. I'd be in the bed asleep, and he'd come in and wake me up. And and he did some very inappropriate things that was really bothering me. And so I knew a boy who I used to go to school with, and I just thought he was a wonderful person. And he had become the chief of police in Harlan, Kentucky. So I went to Harlan, Kentucky, and I went down to the police department. And I sat down with the chief of police, and I told him what was going on. I said, you're really the only one that I feel like I can trust. And I just want to get your advice on what I should do. Well, the look on his face worried me. And then I looked down on his desk, and there was a picture of him and this officer. And this officer was his best man in his wedding. By the time I got back to Cumberland, this police officer was pulling me over, and he let me know the chief of police in Harlan had already called him and had told him what I had went in there for. So what do? You end up finding out. Sometimes it's better just to keep your mouth shut, because when you do go to try and talk to somebody and get some help, it might just backfire in your face, So that's just a little personal story of mine. Let's see. Howlin' Wolf says, I've been in front of that judge in Madison County long ago. She seemed fair, but was only a traffic ticket. Yeah. Let's see. LS. A judge must also consider the safety of the public and whether or not the defendant is likely to reoffend. Yeah. Thank you, Buckwheat Honey. Yes, great chat tonight. Love Bug says, great chat tonight. Love having y'all. Absolutely. Howlin' Wolf. I wonder if Stines sounds like he was paranoid about his wife and daughter. Yeah, that's I have a friend who is a former reporter, and he has a whole lot of law enforcement sources. And he told me the other day that he had spoke to one of them and asked them, what did it look like the motive was? If they could give him any information. And allegedly, they said that it was really sad that they really weren't finding much. That it looked to whoever the source was that it was just all they were finding was like paranoia and mental illness. And I don't know how true that is, but I trust that that's what the law enforcement source said. Let's see. Georgia culture. I think that anyone is able to smooth as a cucumber unalive like Stines did, then that behavior is in him, not his first cold, calculated act. That's kind of what I said. How do you go from squeaky clean, never done anything bad in your life, follow the rules, super cop, cop's cop, that to this? That's a great big jump. That's a huge jump. And, then you also got to think about what happened after this, after the incident happened. He walked out, laid it down, and said, treat me fair. They were trying to kidnap my wife and kid. Treat me fair. I don't know. If I had just lost my stuff and say somebody had done something to my child and, I was in a heated argument with them and I knew they had done something to my child and I just lost my senses and lost control, I would think that after I committed this act of insanity or I lost control, you'd think you would say that, right? You'd think that you'd say, he did this, he did this, he did this to my child. Oh my gosh, you'd think that you would be just more upset about it. Do you know what I'm saying? Does anybody else feel that way? LS says 130 in the chat, only 64 likes. Hit that like button. Yes, if you would, please. It helps us so much more than you know. It helps our channel. Let's see. Tanya Levine. Hi, sweetheart. We are getting snow. Yes, we are getting snow here. Absolutely. Brittany says it was intentional. Sure seemed that way to me when I watched that video. I couldn't believe that they showed it on TV. And I still remember my reaction. My jaw was on the ground. That's a good question. Extreme Blonde. Welcome, honey. Do we know the charge? First degree. No, that's not what it was. It's red rum of a public official, which I'm not a lawyer. Okay, so let me Google it real fast and see what it says. What's the difference between first degree and of a public official? Okay. Difference. Let me put in Kentucky. Of a in Kentucky. All right. AI says In Kentucky, there is no distinction between the crime of red rum of a public official and the crime of first-degree red rum. So there we go. There's no distinction. It's the exact same thing, it seems like. Red rum. In Kentucky, red rum is defined as the unlawful unaliving of another person with malice or the intent to unalive or cause serious bodily injury. Punishment. The punishment for first-degree red rum in Kentucky is life imprisonment without the possibility of parole, or life with parole after 20 or 25 years, or 20 to 50 years in prison. The death penalty is also a possibility. To obtain, this is all what AI says on my Google. To obtain a conviction for first degree, the prosecution must usually prove that the defendant caused an unlawful unaliving of another person and had a certain mental state. The prosecution will often need to prove intent, wantonness, knowledge, and recklessness. So that's what the AI overview on Google says. So that tells us a lot. That was a good little piece of information there. I'm glad I Googled it. Chatters, please hit the like button. Yes, thank you. Let's see. More or less. There are no degrees of red rum in Kentucky. That makes sense with what it just explained, didn't it? Or, well, I don't know. It says there's no distinction between that and first degree, but they didn't call it first degree, so you're probably right. Okay. It's just that that's the difference in states. They all call things different, and you don't really, us lay people don't know what that means. Let's see. Assume it will have to be first degree. Yeah. So that's basically the same thing it said. Yeah, Miss Brittany. We just read it from the Mountain Eagle. Yep. Let's see. Yes, we're praying for you, more or less. Said I had surgery on my hand this week, and my typing is a little impaired. We will absolutely be praying for a full recovery. Let's see. Georgia Culture. I've been watching your channel as soon as this happened. You just popped up on my feed. I watch trials all the time. Great channel, Hillbilly Crime. Thank you, honey. Thank you. I'm trying. I'm trying my best. Let's see. I'm trying to learn how to take my all my work and experience and my work ethic and stuff with the job that I had, and I'm trying to figure out how to transfer it to this. And so, it's just different. I'll get it though. I'll figure it out. We'll get there. And thank you, you guys. The only way I have the option and the opportunity to do this is because you guys watch. So thank you so much. Thank you. Let's see. Howlin' Wolf says, never for a minute believe any COP can be trusted. None ever, and don't get it. It's a big club. Well, that thin blue line goes a long way. It sure does. But, I think that, people are starting, um, people are starting to be more aware of the things that have been going on because of social media, I might add. Because of the growth of social media, so many of these stories that were buried in these back hill towns, they're finally starting to get out because everybody's a reporter now. Everybody has a phone. Everybody has social media. So used to, they could get the newspapers and the media outlets to not print certain stories, don't not cover certain stories, and now they don't have that degree of invisibility anymore. You know, so I think that has a whole lot to do with it. It's because of people like us who get out here and tell these stories that things are shared. I think it is changing things, or at least it's getting ready. It's starting to. Chris Cahill. I grew up on Sand Lick. Yes, by the way. So you reminded me of my days gone by when we still were the Whitesburg High School Yellow Jackets and had a very good football team in the 80s. Yeah, that ball game that I watched was between Whitesburg and Neon back in the 80s, and it was one of the biggest ball game videos. It was unbelievable. It just blew me away to watch it, knowing how things are now. When they consolidated the schools, they took all of that rivalry away, and it really, really made a huge difference to our little towns and our schools. Let's see. Let's see. My dog Rex. Hopefully the accused will spill all the beans. That's what I'm hoping. I hope he gets up on the stand and tells everything he knows. I really do. But I guess we'll find out. His lawyer's not saying anything. His lawyer is not saying a word. He's repeated the same thing that he said before. And what he said in the last article that I saw was that he was expecting a complete acquittal. So if he's expecting a complete acquittal, this trial's going to be good. Unless, lawyers are supposed to say stuff like that too, though. Let's see. All right. Let's see. Teresa Southern, or Teresa, I'm sorry. Hello, sweetheart. Hillbilly, I'm from Middlesboro. I know right where you're at. And I love your page. Lord, I think your mama would be a good co-host. Really? Because I've been thinking about that too. Thank you. I just needed a little bit of encouragement on that. She is a hoot. I think she'd be a good co-host too. Anybody else think so? She's very smart. When I was a kid, I always called her eccentric because she was so smart. She was a math teacher, so she taught, trigonometry and algebra and calculus and calc 2, and I think she even taught physics a time or two. So, and a lot of times people that are really, really smart are just a little bit eccentric. Let's see. But thank you for that. Diamond in the sticks. I don't think he'll get the D penalty, just my opinion, and really don't want him to, or no one else. I'd hate to have that job. Wouldn't want to make them calls on my soul. I completely agree with that. I sure agree with you there. Yeah, Brad R. Let's see. Brad R. Oh, Georgia. Good point. Makes one think. I like your thought. Let's see. Yeah. Diamond in the sticks. I agree with you, Teresa Southern. Her mother would make a good co-host. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Allegedly, Lisa says, I'm sure there's going to be a wrongful death lawsuit against the Stein family. I don't know how that works, so I don't know. Dave H. Remember me asking about the little hottie? Yes, I do. Somebody got really upset about that, didn't they? I didn't know what you was referring to when you first said it, but then I caught on later on. Yeah. Thank you, Miss Brittany. Thank you. I remember that. Radar. Hey, Diamond. You think her mom's running deer with that dog of hers? Yep. She got a whole bunch of them. The mailman just ran over one of them not long ago. But, or not the mailman, it was the water department people. But she was really, really old, and the doggy was, and mommy said that it just saved her from having to make the decision to take her and whenever that time came. So that's how she kind of looked at it. Yeah, DP will be on the table, and we will hear that down the road by prosecution, whoever they are. Well, it's going to be Jackie Steele. I think they've done set the prosecutors for the case. I think it's going to be that Jackie Steele and see, what was the other guy's name? Does it say? It said on the Mountain Eagle one. I don't think it said it here in this other one. Jackie Steele. Yeah, it just has him in this one. But the judge is Julia H. Adams. So, Diamond in the sticks. I have an ex-state cop relative. He got offered daily to get out of speeding tickets. Yeah. Listen, it's bad. It's bad. It goes always. Brad R. I don't have to write tickets. Allegedly, Lisa, bring mama aboard. LS, yes, your mom. I think that's what he's saying. Your mom would be great. Yep. Chris Cahill, both of y'all are a hoot. I'd love to watch you do a Speak Your Piece segment. Yep. We're going to have to get Mama on here, do a live. Yep. She does a whole lot of like her singing lessons and all that stuff. She does it all by Zoom. So I can absolutely fix her right up and bring her right on as co-host. So that's great. That's great. Mama would be a great co-host. She is very intelligent and funny. Yep. Dave H loves you up here in Northwest Indiana. Thank you. Look here. Juju Harris. Thank you. Welcome. I was going to say that. Sweet Tater would be the best co-host. Yes, please. I would love that. I adore your mama. I was actually going to send you a message suggesting that y'all do the show together. Well, there we go. I think that's a winner, ain't it, y'all? That's a winner. Brad Art, I was raised on a reservation in North Dakota, or cops were FBI agents. Yeah. On the Indian reservation, they have to be like special, don't they? To work on the reservations. Your mama is very, very smart and such an incredible woman for the era she grew up in. She's an amazing lady. Thank you. She sure is. I'm very blessed. Candy S. The sheriff has 2 brilliant attorneys. If anyone can make it happen, they definitely will. Well, they didn't. They weren't picked as his lawyer for nothing. He pretty much could have had any lawyer in the state of Kentucky that he wanted. I'd pretty much bet anybody would have taken this case because of the high profile nature of it. So if he got them, there has to be a reason. And I don't necessarily know. That's a great idea. I might ought to reach out to people around town and just see what their opinions are on the D penalty around here, and just kind of find out, what the majority of people think about it. Let's see. George Culture. We will only know how anyone feels about DP when it goes to jury. Question. Do you think your area in the state would be open to it even? Not natural to get an entire jury to agree. Well, absolutely. Your comment is what made me think of that and say that. So that's what I'll do. I'll try and see if I can ask some people and just see what they say. You and your mama could do a picking and grinning. Yes, she's been picking. I need to get up there and get some video of her. Oh, picking and grinning segment where she could do some picking on the banjo while you do speak the piece, kind of like hee-haw. That's a great idea. I love it, Juju Harris. I love it. Absolutely. Right, R. She chases deer with that little dog. Oh, winner, chicken dinner. I would love to talk math. I have a Ohm's law degree in nuclear production. Wow. Oh, I can't wait to get her on here. Allegedly, Lisa, winner, chicken dinner. Oh, that's wonderful. Well, congratulations on such a great academic career, Mr. Brad. That's awesome. Let's see. Allegedly, Lisa. I don't care how good his lawyer is. I can't see an acquittal. I can't see it either unless they just get a jury to go in there, a jury full of Mickey supporters. And surely they won't. Like, I don't know. More or less. Stines won't say a word. That's my prediction. If he makes bond, he'll probably be confined to house arrest. Because Letcher County has such a great history with house arrest. If his bond is set below $5 million, then Judge Adams is nuts. His motive doesn't matter. If it's $5 million, I don't see him coming up with that. I don't see anybody in this area being able to raise that much money. And if they did, that's just, I couldn't even, do you know how many people that would feed? That's just crazy. Craziness. Where's the case going to be held at? I like to go. It's in Letcher County as of now. It's going to be held right down there in Whitesburg at the Letcher County Courthouse. As far as I know, the indictment, it had to go in front of the grand jury because it had to be the grand jury in the county that the crime was committed in. It had to be in front of that county's grand jury. So now that the indictment has been handed down and they've assigned a judge to receive the indictment and hear the arraignment, or have the arraignment, now I'm not really sure what the next step in the process is going to be, but we'll find out on Monday because I'm going to the courthouse. I don't know if I'll get in or not, but I'm going. Yes, LS. I think life without parole would be less traumatic for the community. I agree with that too. I think I do. Allegedly, Lisa, I love me some hee-haw. That's right. And I sang too. I know I sang. Let's see. Chris Cahill. I imagine Scotia is nowhere to be seen anymore on Pine Mountain, huh? Well, Scotia Mine, is that what you're talking about? Scotia Mine exploded back in the 90s. Was it the 90s? I don't know if that's what you're talking about or not. A lot of the kids that were my age, there was a lot, because I originally grew up over in Cumberland and Harlan County, and a lot of the kids my age, their dads was in that mine, or their dads was working in the mines at that time, and several of them were in that mining accident or explosion when that happened and passed away. Brad R. Hillbilly, you going to interview some of those older guys again? That was good. Enjoy listening to those folks. Yeah, I am. Let's see. More or less. His motive doesn't matter because it's on video. Great point. Yeah. Well, they're not allowed, Miss Brittany. Let's see. I don't think anyone can raise that amount, especially on a GoFundMe page. They're not. I imagine that would break the GoFundMe page. Well, right after the incident happened at the courthouse, a family member or an in-law or a friend or somebody decided to put up a GoFundMe for Mickey's, for the Stines family, I think is how it originally was put up. And people started donating money. There was one person donated $1,000. Another person donated $1,000. A couple donated $500. A couple donated $200. And I don't know how soon it was after it went up, but the same person then had to go in and edit it and say on there that none of the money was able to go for his defense because of the rules on the GoFundMe. They're not allowed to raise money for his defense. So the money that had been raised and that was going to be raised in the future would be only going towards Caroline and his daughter. So, and there was, the last time I looked at it, there was almost $10,000 had been donated to the Stines family. And then the brother-in-law of the judge, because I called it the dueling donation thing, dueling GoFundMes. Then the brother-in-law of the judge went out and started a GoFundMe for the judge's kids, a college fund. And only the last time I looked at it, which it's been several weeks ago that I looked, there had only been like $1,500 donated to the judge. But I think people are probably looking at that and saying, they're going to be fine. There's going to be a whole lot of money going to the judge's family, So I just don't know how much sense it makes for a bunch of poor people, because that's what a lot of people here are poor. You don't have very many people here. I mean, it's just my opinion, but a lot of people here are barely making it. So that's not really fair to ask a whole lot of people, a whole county full of people who are barely making it, to pay for college for somebody else. Do you know what I'm saying? I mean, I hope that doesn't sound awful, because I don't mean it to. But it's just kind of out of touch. It just seems kind of out of touch to me. Allegedly, Lisa. Yeah, with that house arrest reputation, Mickey may have to put out stay out. Sorry. Chris Cahill. Oh, wow. Yeah, I meant the Scotia mine. Yep. Brittany says limit on GoFundMe page is 100,000. They'd have to make a lot of profiles. Yeah. And they can't do that anyway now. So, and see, this is Jim Brammer, 1967. Welcome, sweetheart. Says, what about the possibility they lower it to manslaughter, depending on the motive, and making a deal with the judge? Well, they can absolutely make a deal with the prosecutor, and then the judge can accept it. Then it's up to the judge to accept the recommendation or the deal or whatever, the plea bargain, which I'm not a lawyer. I'm just going by what how I understand everything to be. But they can also, like I said about the bond, the way that I've seen it work before, when they originally set the bond, they'll set it real high, and they'll leave them in there in jail for a couple months. Or, well, I think it was LS said it earlier. Then you're allowed every 2 weeks or every 10 days, from what we understand as lay people, to petition for a bond reduction. So, and I've seen people do that several times. So they could do this arraignment on Monday, set a $5 million bond. I mean, they could set a $5 million bond and then delay it, put it off, delay it. 2 months later, come back and ask the judge to lower it to a reasonable amount that they could afford to pay. Now, I don't know. I'm just saying. I've seen them do it before. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens on Monday. And like I said, that won't even be the end of it. That's just going to be the beginning. And, remember too, there's another aspect of that, what his lawyer said, the emotional disturbance aspect of it. That might come into play somehow. We just don't know. Teresa Southern, when you and your mama start alive, have an open phone line. That's a great idea. Thank you. You're giving me some great ideas. Yay. Yeah, LS. If it is extreme emotional distress, I think we lost the end of your comment there. Brad R. I need to know, where is this case going to be? I want to see it, even if it's one day or a week. Absolutely. Well, it's going to be in Letcher County. It's going to be at Whitesburg. And I'm going to try and go down there on Monday. And I'd say it's going to be live streamed. We'll absolutely stream it on my channel. We're going to stream everything that we can, everything that we know about it. So if you go in person, it'll be in Whitesburg. But if you want to watch it, you can just come here and watch it with us. Teresa. Teresa. You pronounce my name Teresa. Teresa. Okay. Thank you. That's a great explanation. Let's see. Jim Brammer, 1967, says his motive does matter in making a deal if it was based on something sketchy, illegal, the napping charge, or his daughter. They might go easy on him. Well, I think the impression that I got at the preliminary hearing, or if that's what it was called, I think it was the preliminary hearing, when the police officer, the state police lieutenant or investigator or whatever he was, got up, they sure didn't look like they were being too friendly to Mickey Stines. I don't think that they're so much on his side. I mean, I don't know, of course, but just the look on his face and the body language and stuff like that, it sure just didn't seem like they were trying to do Mickey any favors. But, I mean, I'm sure he just did what he was supposed to do. But he looked to me, when I saw him, he looked like his chin was quivering, a little bit. And he looked to be emotional. Like, that's what I'm saying. These people that were investigating this case worked with them every day. They knew these people. I can't believe that they left their friends and coworkers to investigate this case. It just blows me away. Let's see. Brad R. says jury nullification. There's not a judge in this country is going to let him walk. Well, I don't know how that really works. But I completely see where you think that. All right, let's get up here. LS says, yeah, the likes are going up. Thank you. Hit that like button. Please, please, please. It helps us so much. Let's see. Jay, welcome, honey. Welcome to the channel. The judge's family will surely sue in civil court for wrongful death. The bar for conviction there is a lot lower than criminal court. It is on video, so if they file, they will get some money. I bet that's right. Absolutely. And, I don't think this is going to apply here, but like the federal civil cases that was being filed against his deputy that he was being implicated or, included in, a lot of times when these civil cases are filed, a lot of these people have, immunity. It's like qualified immunity or something like that. I'm not sure what the exact word of it is, but it's some kind of an immunity. And it's where they are a civil servant and they are expected to do everything with, like the best interest of people, the best interest, like their good faith. Everything that they do, they're doing in good faith, where they took this oath to help people and, be law enforcement or whatever. They don't just have to be law enforcement, like social workers. Social workers have that kind of immunity as well. And that's why it's so hard to sue, somebody civilly, in when they have those kinds of jobs, which I don't think it's going to apply here because, we've got the video of what he did. But like with the and with his deputy, what his deputy did was criminal, and he, as far as I'm the way that I understand it, where he took a plea bargain, and that's considered a conviction for it, and then Mickey was being accused of ignoring uh, the complaints, and not training his officer and not supervising his officer. And so they were blaming Mickey. They were pulling Mickey in on this too. And I don't, that same story, or the story that I did on the guy that ran for sheriff over in Harlan County, Paul Browning. They also sued the guy who unalived him. They sued the sheriff who was his employer. And it was a great big thing over the immunity. What all did he have immunity for, and what all did he not have immunity for? Like, it was a great big old, and all that stuff is so confusing, to most of us who are not lawyers and who are not educated and trained as lawyers. We don't know that kind of stuff. So, but that immunity thing is a really big deal. Let's see. Sorry, I didn't mean to get off on that tangent either. Let's see. Allegedly, Lisa. I don't think Mickey needs a bond after a county official. Others may be in danger of his calm and chill, because nobody would have ever seen that coming. Nobody ever saw that coming. Let's see. Let's see what more or less says. The emotional disturbance must include a reasonable explanation, says the law. Stines was not in any danger whatsoever. Nope, he sure wasn't. It didn't look like to me. And Judge was sitting there like this. Judge had his hands up. And he turned to try to shield himself. Like, it just blows me away. Bride says Stines is on court TV right now, Hillbilly. Yeah. Oh, they'll have him all over everything because of this indictment. It just came down at 2:50 p.m. today. Let's see. Amanda Evans. Hello, honey. Welcome. If you do the crime, you do the time. Just saying. This is what I'm saying with this whole thing. You're never going to touch your wife again. You're never going to walk your daughter down the aisle when she gets married. You're never going to hold your grandchildren. Everything that you've ever done good for people in this county might as well just be wiped away. Your reputation, your friends, your circle, your everything is gone. And you gave all that up for what? For what? You'll be in protected custody for the rest, at least, this is just me thinking out loud and my opinion, of course. But you're going to spend the rest of your days in protective custody in a jail cell. I think that a judge would consider those kinds of things about a bond, because you sure don't want, like, what incentive does he have to go to court and go to prison? Like, if they let him out on a bond, I would be afraid that he would hurt himself or that he would do something, so because he knows what he's facing. I mean, I don't know, but that's what I would be afraid of as a judge. I think that would factor into my decision on a bond, but that's just me. Let's see. True, or the one who knows. Stines lawyers are deal makers. It's their thing they do best. Watch for the deal. That makes most sense, honestly. It really does. But the prosecutors have to be willing to make a deal. And, on a lot of the other cases that we've seen, the crimes were so horrific and they were so bad that the prosecutors didn't even consider making a plea, or offering a plea, or accepting a plea. If I was a prosecutor, I wouldn't accept a plea. I'd take him to court. I'd want the trial. I would want the trial just to give the community a little transparency. You know what I mean? Because if they do a plea and they give him 20 years, what do you think the community's going to say? What do you think the community's going to think? What would you think? What are you going to think? Jay says, I agree with you, but since he didn't do this in line of duty, no, that's where you're wrong. He's already set as a sheriff, as an elected sheriff, he was on duty 24/7. So he was on duty. Didn't matter if he was in his police clothes or not. But he can't claim immunity for his official act, is how I see it. So that was the rest of Jay's comment. But since he didn't do this in line of duty, yeah, he was. He was on duty 24/7. He just wasn't in his uniform. Let's see. Jim Brammer, 1967. A lot of those deals seal the motive up upon agreement, so the public might never know why only the court and attorneys. Yep. That's what I was saying. Yep. All right, guys. Well, I think we're going to go ahead and close this out. We've been on here for over 2 hours. But I sure appreciate y'all joining us tonight. I think this was our best live yet. It was our very best live yet. You all had the chat bumping. Thank you. Please give our mod some appreciation, Miss Lovebug. She's always helping us so much. She helps me so much on all of our shows. Does anyone of the arraignment will be on TV? I hear it will be Monday. Not sure if it will be on court TV. Well, I'm going to stream it. I'm also going to go, or I'm going to try to go to Whitesburg. I don't really know what would be best if I go to Whitesburg, because I can't video from the courtroom, of course. But I can come live from the courthouse and go in and watch it, or I can stay home and just stream it on the channel, or I could do both and just go down to the courthouse that morning and then come back and jump on a live. So I'm sure I'll probably end up doing both somehow. But we're going to have it on. So just keep watching for us, and we'll get it all straightened out. Let's see. Yeah, guys, I'm telling you, the daughter and the wife have already denied that anything happened inappropriate with the judge. They've both come out immediately after this and they said no, none of that was true. So, and that's what I said earlier. A lot of people are looking for a reason because, why would he do this? There has to be a reason. He couldn't have done this for no reason, But Jilly Bean, hi, honey. Hi, Hillbilly. I've been watching, not chatting. Just want to wish you and Mama and your loved ones a very happy Thanksgiving. Sending hearts. Thank you, Jilly Bean. Happy Thanksgiving to you too, sweetheart. Let's see. All right, guys. It's sure been a great night. It's been a great chat. I'm trying to just run through here and see if I'm going to put a couple more up here before we go. More or less. Imagine being the prosecutor and looking at Judge Mullen's wife in the eye and his two young girls and saying, sorry, we are not charging Stines with red rum. See, that's not happening. No, they charged him with red rum. They did. So, my dog Rex. Get some camera spyglasses. Yeah. Yep. All right, guys. Well, you all have a great rest of your evening. I'm so glad that I was able to bring this to you guys, and thank you all so much. Thank you for the super sticker. I'm very appreciative. Like I said, this is my new full-time job, y'all. So it doesn't cost anything to watch. It doesn't cost anything to subscribe. And it doesn't cost anything to hit that like button. And it will help me out tremendously. So I appreciate that. And all right, guys. I'm going to jump on tomorrow and we'll do a Speak Your Piece. And we'll see if we can get Mommy on here. All right. Okay, y'all. Have a great rest of your night. Thank you, Love Bug. Thank you, LS. Thank you, all of you, so much. Have a good night, and we'll see you tomorrow, okay? Bye.